Hello and welcome to another video from Stein Investments. Today I'd like to introduce our latest product, which is FX Dynamic, an exceptional precise volatility indicator based on the average true range, and it helps to determine profit targets and identify in which symbol or even currency is potential for a new trade, or which is maybe already oversold or overbought, where it's better to exit. So how do we get to those numbers you see here in the panels and on the chart? The most popular usage of the average true range is probably the 20 days average daily range, which determines how much a currency or a pair moved during the past 20 days, and this gives you some idea of what you can expect from a pair during the day. So how much will it move? This is especially important if you want to define your expectations for a profit target, or if you want to set your stop loss based in pips. So let's say you want to use a 20 pip stop loss, and 20 pips is on this franc pair almost more than half of the range this pair moves during the entire day, while it's almost nothing on euro against the Japanese yen. So you need to take this into account if you want to set a proper stop loss and a reasonable profit target. And we calculate these averages for every pair and use this information from all these pairs to calculate the average for the individual currencies and gold as well. There are several ways of how to benefit from the information you get with FX Dynamic. The most popular method is probably to use it as profit target. So if you enter a sell trade here on Euro USD, you see here the 80, 100 and 130% level of the ATR, and you can use them as partly profit targets or as single profit target. Another method is to use it as an entry filter. So you can see the green numbers here. They are shown if the percentage is below 80%. Between 80 and 130, it's neutral white, and if it's above 130%, it becomes red. The point is, we want to demonstrate you at a glance where is potential for new position, where it's neutral and it's not really advised to enter, but you can, if you have already a trade open, you can leave it open, and if it's if the ATR reaches 130% or more, it became red and is like a warning flag that it's better to exit your trade. These panels can also work as trigger signals if you want to spot where is some action in the market. And you can see that the Aussie dollar moved the most for today, followed by the Japanese yen with 68%. So let's have a look at the Aussie dollar pairs. I already know why they moved, and the reason was a news event tonight during the Asian session. So we'll see the same move across all the Aussie dollar pairs. And so it's not in our interest because this move has long gone and there is no dynamic here for any ongoing trend move. So let's focus on the second currency we get with some healthy dynamic. This is the Japanese yen. US dollar yen doesn't move that much, but as you can also see at the high volatility here, this is also an interesting pair for cross-continental trades like the euro, Japanese yen, British pound against the Japanese yen. And it's pretty clear that the yen became strong because all other currencies drop against it. And if you enter your sell trade here, then just set your stop loss above the last high and use one of these levels as your targets. One more method that is especially interesting for scalpers, I guess, is to determine at a very early point where the action is. And to do so, I used a different analysis period here for FX dynamic. And I use a 1 hour analysis instead of the 1 day I showed you before. And I set different alert levels. I use 60, 100, and 130 in this case. 60 is relevant for the entry, 100 and 130 is relevant for the exit. Then I enabled the alerts to get an information when one of these levels has been reached by a currency, to get an early heads up which currency is in the focus in the current hour. As you can see, the new hour started a few seconds ago, and the euro provides this average range on an hourly basis and already reached 25%. Pound has 30%, and they're all moving at the same range. So what I want to know is which of these currencies exceeds 60% at first, and then I'll check each of the correlated pairs to get an idea of the direction in which this currency is traded. Why I'm showing you this maybe pretty weird way to use FX dynamic, it's mainly because I want to encourage you to use the traditional tools like the average true range in a different way. There is so much more in these tools to see and how to use it, and you just need to take some time, get familiar with them, and experiment with the settings to see how it can benefit your personal trading style, and with maybe a completely new approach and trading system. And FX Dynamic was mainly designed to be a risk management tool for the stop loss and the profit target. And now we can see it's also possible to determine or to get entry triggers from it. And this is something none of us expected when developing this tool, but you can see it's possible. And I'm very curious about the outcome. So this trading hour is almost over, and now it's time for a recap to see how these trades evolved during the past 50 minutes. So Euro USD, unfortunately, I have been stopped out due to my stop here. Euro Aussie dollar moved a bit, but not much, but it's still on the way. Euro New Zealand dollar, it's pretty much the same. Canadian dollar, yep, has been break even a few minutes ago, but there's still more potential to the downside than in the opposite direction. Then euro against the Swiss franc has also moved a bit, but not much. And against the Japanese yen, we see pretty much the same picture. So all in all, it's nothing exciting, but you may see there is some potential in this method to use the volatility to determine where you might see some potential action for the next hour or 2 hours or whatever. So this is just another more experimental method how to use this data, and I hope the community will take part of it and of this experiment and will share the experiences you get with it. I guess you'll be most successful around the London opening, around the New York opening, and I'll have a lunch break now, wait for the New York opening, and then try it again. So thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and I hope you enjoy using our tools, and I'll catch you in the next one.